going on, y'all? Welcome back to another day in paradise at the We Got Y'all podcast with Ray P and K Rich. What's going on, friend?
Not too much, man. Not too much. Just want to let y'all know. I told y'all niggas, Jane is not like that. Jane ain't like that.
I
ain't no way.
Going to start with that.
Mm-hmm. You know, I couldn't wait.
I was actually going to say, as much as we come in here touting Ray be knowing, Kyron knows a thing or two. It might have took a while, but he's learning.
Ray be knowing
together some things.
Ray be knowing and Rich be knowing. Listen, a 300 look like a phantom until the phantom pull up. Jane just happened to be. Sure. He happened to be one of the ones down there. Nigga, Gary, low key, Gary might have been able to take out Jane. You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying, man.
In the lowest of keys. Now, so
I will say this real quick.
Go ahead.
I do not believe Jane is dead.
I don't think she's dead either.
I think there's something I think there is something to an honorable death in TV, where you have a character who has, if they've done so much wrong, you can't go out like that. I want to see you either a different character take you out or in a more vicious manner. And I just think getting it in the shower from Dr. Gab just doesn't feel right.
For the tactical training that we've known Jane to have done, I don't think a mild shanking is gonna do it.
I don't think it is. You're right. As crazy as it sounds, it does take a little bit more to kill people like that.
For sure. The only thing that might give this potential death any credence is because it is Dr. Gad. She's a doctor. Maybe where she stabbed her specifically was a fatal blow, quote unquote. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it was in the back. Maybe you got the spine. I mean, there's a whole bones there, but I don't know. Maybe you got in between the lumbars and did some shit. I don't know. That would be the only reason if, with her medical training, even though she's a psychiatrist, that she might have done some damage physically. That's the only thing. But no, I don't think she's dead either. But as soon as I saw the scene, I said, damn, Jane is in fact not like that.
I tell y'all that. Hey, I just love one of my favorite moments. I know Ray just talked about it. There's been plenty of moments. If you go back and look at our back catalog, Rachel just calling stuff out on numerous shows. It feels good to have a moment myself. I just didn't buy it. I just didn't believe it. I just couldn't. There was something about it that just didn't feel authentic. Not that Jane's not dangerous. I'm not saying that. I just didn't think she was like that. I didn't think she was who they were painting her to be. And I think this proves us right. And we'll see what happens with Jane. Like I said, I do not by any stretch of imagination think she's dead. And if she is, then all that is a ploy to move on to the final chapter, the final countdown, maybe, of the show itself. You know what I mean? To prepare for season 3, get that character out of the way so we can focus. No different than, spoiler alert, the show's been out for a very long time, so you probably should have watched it by now. No different than a Joffrey Ramsey situation. It's hard to have Joffrey and Ramsey. You get Joffrey out, then you bring on a different villain, so on and so forth. So, who knows what's going to happen. But before we even talk about season 3, before we do anything, we got to get through season 2, episode 7, the final countdown. There will be spoilers and explicit content. So if you haven't watched the episode, please make sure you do. Then make sure you check us out at We Got Y'all. We appreciate y'all for tuning in. Thank you as always. Can't do this without you. And Rachel, shout out to you just for being Rachel. And just being the one. You know what I mean? You, Rachel, are like that. So shout out to you.
But thank you. I was going to come in because Kyron came in hot. I had a whole little thing I was going to say. I was going to thank my amazing co-host for really, really holding us down last week, because when I tell you I didn't have shit for y'all.
Hey, it's glad.
I started hurting. My voice was easy. Like, just the longer we talked, the less vocal strength I had. Like, it was a mess. I was in the bed immediately after recording, as I was traveling. As soon as I got home, in the bed, emergency, Theraflu, hot,
Yeah.
all the
Been
little
there.
concoctions. So I was down bad whatever day we record. The day after, for the most part, I really didn't kind of come to until Saturday when I was starting to feel like something. So shout out to you for holding it down, because I just ain't have it.
Pleasure's all mine. But it's great to hear your voice in full strength. Great to hear your laugh, see that smile. Somebody out there who's good with graphic design, take that Jordan Pippen flu game meme and just put my face on it and Rachel's face. Put my face carrying Rachel off the court, man. We got it done. Rachel still dropped 38. She still dropped 38, but it just wasn't at full strength. But we excited, man. I'm happy. I'm happy that we're back and here to talk about my favorite type of episode, the penultimate. As I mentioned, season 2, episode 7. Paradise is streaming on Hulu if you were looking for it. This episode was directed by Hanel M. Culpepper, written by Melissa Glenn, and the synopsis, Rachel. Xavier has unfinished business. Meanwhile, Sinatra meets with Link as Paradise prepares for a potential threat. Got to start the episode the same way, Rachel. As you're watching, what are your opening thoughts on episode 7? What were you thinking as you're going through this viewing?
Okay. it is a wee bit complicated.
Okay, let's get into it.
Wee bit complicated. As we've been doing, we got y'all for, I guess, a couple of years at this point. I know that penultimates are your favorite. And so, having that in mind, I have started to enjoy them a little bit more, to anticipate the grandeur of what a penultimate episode looks like. The first time I watched it, I said, was Joe right about the fall off of Paradise?
Okay.
The first maybe 20 minutes, I don't want to say I was getting pissed.
Okay.
But I was in the lowest of keys. I was getting angry at the lack of lighting, the lack of everything. It just didn't, it wasn't curling all the way over for me. And Paradise, if no other show, is extremely cerebral. It is dialogue heavy, but beyond that, you have to pay attention. You can't really be multitasking, because you won't get it. You will miss things. And so as I came back from my second watch, I was like, okay, bitch, in the lowest of keys, you was tripping a little bit, but I could see how you got there.
Okay. So, fair.
As it went on, I did enjoy it. However, and I don't know if this is a me thing, side eye, I wanted Gary in the fucking dirt.
Well, I agree, but we'll talk about it. Go ahead. I agree with you, but I understand why.
But I want him in the dirt. You hear me?
Yeah. It's crazy. I had that exact same note. It's crazy.
Yeah, I need some more retribution than that. I was even less than excited about Teri and X's reunion. Like, okay, yes, the bomb just went off, but if I don't see my favorite for too long, when we finally do link, I'm extremely excited. I can't imagine, and maybe it's the trauma of it all, I can't imagine my actual fucking husband, father of my children that I actually love, literally coming to see about me. Years have gone by, trauma on top of trauma on top of trauma. I need that reunion to be a little bit more. And candidly, yes, you got to be interrogated by the trained people. We got to know some things. However, I just needed a little bit more. This is the love of my life situation. And so we watched X and Teri in their episode in the hospital and how they met. And then I just thought, like, maybe they just clearly they loved each other, but maybe the two actors, their chemistry isn't just like that. I don't know. Something about it. I just needed more. I know what my level of excitement and whatever else for the husband that has been gone for X amount of years that literally found me through space and time.
You need more people.
Yeah.
I don't believe you. You need more people.
More people. Shout out to everybody that got them Hove tickets. I was not. Candidly, Gary was still a threat at that point. Okay, where did he go? You slipping notes to the people, but Teri, in the midst of trying to kill her husband, again, need you in that dirt.
Just for that alone, like I'll save my thoughts for when we actually talk about it. But literally, you try to kill me, bro. You going down.
You're going down.
Like, regardless of all the other foul shit that you did, killing Enos and all this other shit, like, you try to kill me, a bomb. Ain't even loving my wife, bro. Like, nah.
All of that. And I feel like even though Xavier said down the line, quote unquote, when he was rescuing Teri after the train of it all, this is the first time he's audibly said he didn't trust Gary. I was a little disappointed in myself for thinking this whole time in Atlanta that that X didn't trust Gary. He was legitimately surprised that nigga was trying to kill him. This whole time, I thought he was playing chess, but he was playing checkers too. I'm completely thrown off by that, especially giving his training. And I did all of that talking 2 weeks ago. Oh, Xavier, he's the Secret Service. He reads people. Nigga, you didn't read that Gary was going to try to kill you when you knew he loved that wife? So there's no way it's the trigger button.
So we had this conversation a little bit.
We did.
When I told you there was something off-putting about somebody that trained letting someone like Gary walk behind them. Like, I said that specifically because it just doesn't make sense. Even if you take the trust aspect out of it, it's just a human nature. I use the example of the moment when Xavier and Dr. Gab were in that diner, and Dr. Gab noticed, like, you're surveying the room. Like, as soon as we get in here, you're looking for the exit, you're seeing the people, who's a threat, so on and so forth. You just wake up like that.
Right.
Shout out to Jay, shout out to B. You just wake up in that sense. Like, that's how your brain works. So your natural instinct would never to let someone like that behind you. However, what I will say, and this can tie into the whole Jane of it all, when we talk about Dr. Gad, Jane and Xavier, two very highly trained, and Billy, if we want to go back to season 1, 3 very, very highly trained individuals. Their downfall was unsuspecting the people who were threats. The people who didn't pose a threat were really the threats, and they kind of brush it off as, oh, they can't do anything to me. This happens all the time. Happens all the time in multiple shows. So that can be a theme within it. But yeah, it's I guess Xavier didn't know that he loved his wife, even though you could have picked up. As soon as you said my partner, calm down, bro. Hold on, what you mean? Because you know I'm her husband. So how dare you call yourself her partner in front of me?
Right. It's giving nuts. So I'm glad to know that Teri did in fact know that Gary killed Ennis. Robinson and Jeremy, I can't make out what I think of this storyline yet. I understand the child as somebody who deals with men with children often. I understand when them chaps don't really be fucking with you like that.
You said them chaps? That's funny as fuck.
So I get Jeremy being a jerk towards her. You fucking my dad, and he's dead. Somebody has to get, even if not the blame, but somebody has to get some of that anger and some of that frustration. But she is in fact better than me, because when Jeremy was like, he never mentioned you, I would be like, well, you didn't talk to him. Remember you stood up and he died?
You would have been, that'd have been a whole different conversation if that was, I'm gonna cut you where it hurt.
I'm gonna cut you where it hurt. And after I just saved your life in this fake ass scheme that you and these people have set up, like, come on now. Yeah, so I don't know. I think a lot of things, but it's quite a few holes for me.
Okay, so we'll get into those as we continue this episode. For me, very pleased with the episode. It's not season 1, episode 7,
right?
But in its own way, it's a different version of it, because if anything, it's a mind fuck. Because I got a lot more questions and answers leaving this episode than I did going into it. But here's a couple things I'll say. So what you kind of touched on a little bit, the pacing of the show. You mentioned how you can't multitask. You can't, because it's very small, minuscule throwaway lines, or you think they're throwaway, but they really mean something. And I'll talk about one that I kind of undug. This show, what I will say, by the end of the episode, I had so much stuff playing in my head from previous episodes, I had to actually go back and rewatch some scenes to make sure I wasn't crazy, and I wasn't. We'll talk about that. It's also very telling how the pace of it, similar to the season in itself, people either love it or they hate it.
Yeah.
Like the pacing of the show, you almost want it to be more Game of Thrones style, where for those of you who have watched the show, this is my second Game of Thrones reference, but in those early seasons, like literally there was season 2 is like Dany going from one place to the other. And that's the entire season. Her every time you see she walking or resting from that walk, like she doesn't get to her destination until episode 13. And she started in episode 1. You kind of want a little bit more of that.
It's the journey.
I thought you were dead. I heard you on the radio. I've been through hell, high water, plane crashes, getting robbed by kids, all types of shit. Handcuffed by a pregnant woman, seeing this woman die during birth. I've been through all of this. I want there to be a little bit more. Yeah, I know the shock of it all, as far as you got guns pointing on you, the whole nine. I get that, but after that settles, I need to see some kind of real embracive scene. They tried it, but to your point, and maybe because we see him and his real wife, who played Officer, I forget her name, in last week's episode. Maybe because we see their chemistry and them being on podcasts and their interviews, they're just so entertaining, and it's like that maybe it's a little bit difficult to see. I don't know. It's just something that's not there.
This Is Us.
Huh?
You didn't watch This Is Us.
No, I remember. I didn't watch it.
Him and Sterling and Susan Kalichi Watson.
So
perfect, believable husband and wife.
Okay.
Yeah.
So maybe there's something we're missing. Either way, it is what it is. I didn't really dwell on that too much, but I agree. I would have liked a little bit more from that reaction side. I already started the episode like Boosie's daughter. I told y'all about Jane. That was one of my biggest takeaway. It just feels good when it's the very next episode.
Yeah.
When you're justified in what you think. However, one of the things that I want to point out, and I want to see if you agree with this, Paradise is a really good show.
Yes.
I think it's even better when James Marsden's in it.
I agree.
What he does with Cal Bradford, it just adds a different element to the show. And you miss it a lot of times. And I know we talked about going in the bunker, out the bunker, but you miss his presence. And just that of course, he's playing a president, so I'm going to use a presidential type of comparison. It's almost like they mix the, I don't want to say stupidity, I don't want to say naivete, but they mix they like all shucks of Bush
Of
with
GW,
the
swag
of
up about.
GW. Well, you know what? I didn't want to give him that because shout out to the president. But shout out. That was my first thought. I thought about it more. That charm and likability of 92, 93 Clinton, where he just had the people. And that's exactly what Cal is. Like, Cal is somebody whether you agree with him or not, you will want to have a drink with him.
For sure.
You will want to sit down, chop it up with him. He's the leader of the free world, but he also seems like a regular person. He's not so threatening to where you don't feel like, you almost feel like I might be smarter than this nigga.
Okay, pause me. In this episode, in the final countdown, explain it to me like I'm a caveman. And I kept going back to last season, knowing that he wanted to be a damn teacher. Then I was like, not any teacher, English, not not social studies, not world history. So I was like, now wait a minute. The education system already is in disarray. If you don't know basic things, but then I was like, okay, English teacher. But that makes sense. And I think that is what humanizes Cal. I don't want to say stupidity because that's harsh, but him being not a brilliant mastermind scientist or this brilliant political strategic mind, and not in a Cheeto way, but
is dense fair? Is dense fair? Is it to call him dense?
I don't think he's dense.
He's not idiotic. He's not any of those things, but he just.
I'm not even, because I don't think he's stupid at all. I just think that astrophysicism and this and the third is just not his cup of tea.
Here's what we'll say. He's not presidential. He can carry it. He can play it, but that's not who he is.
Right. And he didn't.
He walks, and you took the words right out of my mouth. He doesn't want to be.
Yeah.
He could act like it if he wanted to, but we've seen plenty of examples, even with him.
It's Jon Snow.
There you go. There's our third. There's our trifecta for Game of Thrones. He's Jon Snow. Like he's the one, but he's resistant to that idea.
Correct.
And even him taking off the tie and redoing the speech in season 1, episode 7, and the American people need to know, that's very human of him. Yes. You know what I mean? Not presidential. Yeah. So, it's either way. I say all that to say, I love Cal Bradford, the character, and you can feel it. You can feel the absence. It's one of those weird things where when you go a couple episodes without him, you don't really. It's not like you're thinking about it, like, oh, I really wish Cal was here. But when you see him pop up again, you're like, oh, damn, I missed this
every time. For sure. Yeah. For sure.
100%.
Okay.
So I have another observation. We'll talk about it when the scene comes up. I told you I did some digging.
Yes.
And I'm putting some dots together. So we'll start there. We'll talk about it when we get there. However, Rachel, where do we want to start? We could talk about Cal and his couple scenes. And I love, when I talk about the pacing, I love how it's only one scene that he's in, but they're able to use it and stretch it across the entire episode. And it makes it feel like his presence is more. And they do that not just for him, multiple characters. But we can talk about Xavier getting Teri back. We could talk about Sinatra and everything she got going on. Dr. Gab and Link. We can talk about Presley and Hadley. We could talk about the jail. Let's actually start with that. Let's start with the jail and Presley Hadley and kind of combine those, because we knew in episode 6 that Presley pressed, for lack of better terms, she pressed Hadley. Your mom ain't who you think she is. This place ain't what you think it is. You need to do something. Hadley asked Sinatra. Sinatra let it slip. I don't know who put them down there. So that immediately said, all right, they're down somewhere. And we see Presley over Hadley's. because of this big meeting, this big summit. Sinatra going all day. We can mess around. As the daughter of a tech mogul, I know my way around a computer.
Bruh.
So
How could you
what
not?
time? Exactly, right? Just by paying attention, you know that. So what time was Jeremy taking? All right, bet. I'm gonna log into the system. We're gonna find out some information. I'm hacking into the cameras. Okay, he's down underneath. Matter of fact, I've actually been there before.
Yeah.
Like I was taken down there to play some kind of game, whatever the case may be. They're doing, and not only that, she gives them access to go down so they can kind of figure out where everybody is. I don't know what their plan is. They're teenagers, so they probably don't have a plan. Because I'm thinking to myself, what are you doing when you get down there? Then what?
They're
similar to Jeremy.
Yeah,
Like,
they're gonna try to
good, but what you gonna do?
them, quote unquote. But Hadley saying she's been down there during year one. Babe, you don't know what the fuck you're walking into. None of y'all do. But again, that teenage bravado, that teenage angst, like, no, self-righteousness, fearlessness. And so there they are. I don't know how I feel about them necessarily being I won't call them a dynamic duo yet because they haven't done anything. But I am curious to see what their partnership looks like.
Once they get off that damn elevator.
Once they get off.
However, the most important thing about Presley and Bradley, because like you said, they haven't done anything yet. But the most important thing, going back to our conversation of you can't multitask, Hadley mentioned, hey, being the daughter of a tech mogul, getting into this computer is easy. And being the sister of a dead brother or having a dead brother means I know what all the passwords are. Doesn't mean anything at that moment, but we find out 0516 is Dylan's birthday.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Not thinking about it. We can tap into that later. That's the whole Presley and Bradley of it all. And once again, as they get access, we'll talk about later as the system's going through its thing. And then we kind of touched on it at the opening, the whole Roberts and Jeremy of it all. How much do you love Cal? Because the way I punch these security guards, bro, I'll punch you on your shit too.
Yeah, for sure.
Like Jeremy, you a little dick. Like, I wrote on my notes, you a dickhead. You a little dickhead, bro. Like for real.
He's a teenager.
Like, yeah, I get that. I love the fact that she told him when he tried to apologize, your dad broke my heart 100 different ways, but he never did it on purpose.
Yeah.
You're nothing like your dad. I know I just mentioned Jeremy's a dickhead, but I'm going to steal what you just said. Of course he's going to do that. He's 16 or whatever he is. Like, that's what they do.
Yeah.
You can't take it personal. He's been throwing shots at you about being the side chick. Your dad used to talk about you all the time. That's funny. He never mentioned you. Like, all right, bro, we get it. We get it.
Yeah.
If you're going to be down for the cause, you're going to be down for the cause. Excuse me. I think the three of them, between Roberts, the inventor, I forget his name, and Jeremy, them obviously finding this room, trying to change the oxygen level so the system was open. At the end of the episode, we'll talk a little bit more about that and the contradiction that's going on. But that's pretty much the rundown of them. That's kind of what's going on underneath Paradise, the jail, Hadley and Presley turning into Encyclopedia Brown and whoever else trying to figure this whole plot out. Shout out to them for wanting to make a change, but it is what it is at this moment.
Let's go, Dr.
I was gonna say we gotta say Sinatra, and all that for last. But Dr. Gad. Now I will say, as much shit as I talk about Jane, there is some kind of chilling moment when you walk out your door and you see her there. If you're Dr. Gad, but that's not the moment. Not only is she there, because a little bit I expected it as a viewer. I'm like, okay, then she's gonna open this door and Jane's gonna be outside. They build it up because of her looking out the window, a little bit paranoid. She thinks Jane might be in the house. Remember, she had that dream, but she thinks Jane's about to shoot her. So it makes sense. That kind of builds the view. You said what?
As to which?
Yeah. So she's not wrong. Trust your intuition. The line that got me was, obviously she offered to take her to the meeting. And Gab said, nah, I'll walk. She's all right. Well, That's up to you. But if you need anything, I know where to find you.
I know where to find you.
Which is a very veiled, subtle threat, which Jane is very good at.
For sure.
She said she the second time she threatened Dr. Gab because she told her in the previous episode, if you know what I did, then you know, if you believe I did that, then you know what I'm capable of.
Right.
I'm pretty much telling you I'm like that, even though she ain't. But we have the Dr. Gab is still trying to figure out who Alex is. Still trying to figure out who was Alex, where is Alex, who is that, and I want to talk to you about her conversation with Sinatra about this. First, they have this summit meeting so they can prepare for the outsiders, as they call them, to come in. And as the head security guy, whoever he is, he tells Sinatra, hey, you need about 4 or 5 people to match what they're bringing in. I'll be one of those people. I'll pick the other ones. Jane immediately jumping on it. I'll be one. Dr. Gad being smart. I don't think that's going to be a good idea. Why? Because they've already seen you.
Right.
If you go out there with them, they're going to think you're the mayor of the tiniest town. You want to show dominance. This is what you're looking for. And Sinatra agreed to Jane's dismay.
Yeah.
And we saw the little interaction, a little smirk and whatever. Like, yeah, I'm smart too. I can play your game too. That Gab was doing to Jane. And she brings this concern to Sinatra because remember they fell out.
Right.
And even Sinatra's on some. Oh, I thought you know.
But you ain't fuck with me like that.
Yeah, buy it. Sell a car. Don't turn back. Like I didn't know you was gonna be here. Oh, okay. This is random. I don't know if you saw that meme that's been going out of the dude laughing in the car with the goats. Guess who I'm fucking again? All right, I'll send it to you later. Either way, if anybody who's seen that, they know it kind of is a parallel. But Sinatra's pretty much on some. Oh, I thought you weren't fucking with me. All right, here you are.
Yeah.
I have concerns about Jane. Were you surprised that Sinatra tipped her hand, pretty much saying, you know what, don't worry about Jane. Jane ain't gonna do nothing unless I tell her to.
No.
Okay.
Here's the thing. Sinatra is nuts. We've established this. But she's not stupid.
No.
There is a part of me, because she is a tech genius, who believes that Dr. Gab, who knows subconsciously that Dr. Gab has bugged her. I do think that. But then
you do. All right. So you think that she knows that she's bugged.
And also, not just because we have been separated for, dare I say, a considerable amount of time at this point, but for all intents and purposes, you've betrayed me. And you now somebody who is on the outside for whatever weird relationship Jane and I have, you telling me my top dog is untrustworthy, that puts me even more on high alert and suspicion surrounding you. You don't think that Jane went back and told Sinatra that Dr. Gad essentially threatened her?
So I'm going to say no. Going to that unassuming.
I'm telling you, she's suspicious. She's on to you, quote unquote, or she thinks she knows something. She thinks that she's got my number. And now I'm on her ass like a hawk. Sinatra.
I think for some reason, I just feel that Jane, she had a line where she said, and we debated it whether or not it was true. What did you mean when Sinatra asked her, what do you mean by that when you're no good to me dead?
Yeah.
And Jane said something along the lines of, I mean that I'm a weapon, I'm a killer. I need people like you, people I admire that can give me orders. In that sentence, part of what you're saying is correct. So yeah, I want to tell you so you can give me the okay. But I also think that Jane really believes that she's the leader of what's going on down there.
Okay.
Like, I'm the biggest motherfucker that she got.
Okay.
And I've already shot you, put you in the hospital. If I
Okay.
wanted to kill you, you would have been dead.
Yes.
That's not my goal. That's not my plan. I do think Jane, does she revere Sinatra? I guess in some sense.
I think
I
so.
think in some sense. But I also think she has I think she gave herself the own authority to eliminate any threat as she sees. And it goes back to what I said at the beginning of just these people being unassuming. I don't think she looks at Dr. Gab and says, there's nothing you can do to me. Like nothing at all. And I'm going to put my pressure on you. I'm going to pop up at your house as you walk out the door. I'm going to be across the street with the binoculars out. You know what I mean? I'm going to have you shook and waking up out your dreams thinking I'm over your corner because that's the threat I pose. You're thinking about me way more than I'm thinking about you. I think she took that approach into it. I don't think she would have told. I just don't see that. I don't see that. I'm not saying it's wrong. Okay. I personally just don't see it, but 1,000% could go the way you're saying.
Okay.
Because there is more to this Gab Sinatra thing.
For sure.
I don't think ever since you said it, I've been thinking about it a few minutes ago of her knowing that she's bugged. And it makes sense. It makes sense. Like, you're just too cautious and too careful. And why would you give me a parting gift if you don't fuck with me no more? Like, that just doesn't make sense. I'm just a little bit skeptical of that.
Yeah.
The Trojan horse, you know?
Trojan horse. Absolutely. Absolutely. I just believe that. So if we get in here next week and she's none the wiser, fine. But
yeah, we'll see.
But we shall see. I'm do want to know if Teri and X make it back, is he going to have to reveal on this journey that he did sleep with somebody?
I think every man knows. As the great sitcom Martin's quoted, "Keep the lie alive." I don't know what type of relationship they have. So 15 episodes into the series, we get to see them for the first time. We got some flashback moments, but this is the first time. I don't know if they're the couple that tells each other everything. I don't know. I don't know if it really matters to them. I don't know if they're just so over the moon that they're back together that we'll just keep all the bullshit away. I don't know.
Teri might keep some things to the chest, but Xavier is very forthcoming with her.
What do you think she's keeping close to the vest?
I think just in general, when we meet her, she is guarded, dare I say. I mean, obviously you're in a hospital. You got some things going on, a lot of medical issues and really some medical trauma happening to you. But immediately Xavier was very open with her. He was very engaged. He was very, I am putting everything out here for you. Here I am. Even in the dialogue, when he rescues her, I told them everything I know about California. Colorado, in the bunker and this, that, and the third. That's classified information. Do you know everything that she was doing when she just had to leave and wouldn't sit her ass down, even though you warned her? I don't know. I'm giving you classified information that nobody else other than the 7 people who sit in the Oval during this meeting have, but you have information that you were able to share, likely with Gary and now these train niggas. Shit that you technically shouldn't know, but because you're my wife, you my rib girl, and I tell you everything, you have information. You have the pieces to put together the puzzle that everybody else doesn't really have. You can make truth out of the conspiracies.
I just thought about a conversation in season 1 when Cal and Xavier were in the office talking, and Xavier could sense something was coming. Yeah. And he's telling her, like, hey, now is not the best time for your wife to be getting on flights to Atlanta. And what did Xavier say? my wife hasn't listened to me in 20 years. Like, Xavier wants to run a strict program, but Teri ain't going for it, bro. She ain't going for it. Like, and I think he loves her and that's why I love the flashback, because we saw the dynamic. It wasn't we lock eyes, love at first sight. Like, Xavier had to be persistent. She wasn't fucking with him. For sure. Like, even if if she gave him the benefit, like, yeah, you handsome or whatever, but I got these goals, I got these dreams. I'm supposed to stop, get pregnant, get married, all of that. Like, I'm cool, bro. And we saw himself will his way into Teri's life, and her finally being open to it. There's something to be said about this. At her most vulnerable moment, I can't see. I'm dependent. Absolutely. I'm not saying that Xavier didn't do it out of the love of his heart, but it is a lot easier to kind of fall and have a soft spot for someone when they were there for you when your darkest times. Literally. You know what I mean? Literally. So that's a brilliant observation by you. And now it's really got me thinking. Not saying, like you said, not saying Teri's not trustworthy. It's just that you need to know everything.
Right.
And now the more I think about it, I was on my nigga shit when I said keep the lie alive. Not everybody can carry the weight of that.
Exactly.
And if we're getting the second chance, if I thought you were going and I'm realizing we get to do this again, that really makes you reevaluate how you want your relationship to move forward.
Absolutely.
And it could easily turn into that. Because if we get a scene with the three of them, it's going to be awkward. And Teri is smart. I think she can read a room and like, oh, what's going on here? You know what I mean? Limited dating pool, as he was telling Teri about, Presley's boyfriend and things of that nature.
Right.
Hey, man, even though we did see Teri, I'll give you everything. I can't give you that. I'm sure she expected the same. There is a side that can argue, well, Xavier thought she was gone. This was supposed to be the end of the world. Teri knew she was alive and she knew Xavier was in Colorado, so maybe that's part of the decision. I don't know. It is what it is. Not to mention, it ain't like Gary is Idris Elba. You get what I'm saying? Like, it ain't like there was just temptation to really give in or anything. So it made it a little bit easier, and so on and so forth. So I get that part of it. So we'll see how that part of it plays out. But Teri getting the ransom note, not a ransom note, excuse me, but just getting the note that, I had Bean come home. It did put me at ease knowing that Teri, after you mentioned this early in the episode, I had questions about what does Teri know? Does she know Gary did this? Does she know he killed Enos? Once again, if we talk about that pacing, that slow pacing, so we can get all the details of a Game of Thrones style show, I would love to see how she knew that. How did that transpire? Like, did he tell you? Did Bean come back and tell you? Is it really that deep for us to know? Not really, but I still would have liked to see it. How did you get to with the train people? Like, I think that's important. And that's where we get into the side of, all right, some of the season, I can understand why people are saying it's a little clunky.
Yeah.
You can't just pop up with the train people and we don't know how.
And maybe we get that in the finale, another flashback and a how-to while she's telling Xavier on their trek from Atlanta to Colorado. This is what happened while they're going to pick up Annie's white baby. Yeah, that's a great point. As much as we didn't get the scene that we wanted from the emotional standpoint, I will say there was something nice about just seeing them walk. Yeah.
Just seeing the two of them just having some time to catch up and walk and get a second chance of this when they thought it was over. Even though Teri had mentioned, like, I wasn't going to stop till I got back to you. And Xavier said, I didn't give up hope. I heard you on the radio. I traveled all this way to come get you. And there's got to be something to be applauded about that because my man really did go through it, as I mentioned. Sure. But I appreciate them having a chance to kind of find each other again, catch up on life. I thought it was very interesting. Xavier asked her directly, so what is your crew plan on doing when they get to Colorado? She didn't answer. She said, why worry about tomorrow's trouble when we still got today's? And that's when she shows him the note about Gary having Bean. I don't want to skip over that. What the fuck are y'all going to do when you get to Colorado? What is the plan? And I'm sure, there you go. They are, what do you think? Let me ask you this. Let me ask you this way: what do you think Xavier's reaction will be if he finds out that they there to set shit off? You think he's talking her down or talking them down from it, or do you think he's with the shits?
I think Gary in the bunker, pre coming back out into the real world, he is trying to talk her down.
Xavier, you mean?
I mean, Xavier.
Okay.
Xavier post plane crash, literally multiple brushes with death, seeing just how dire and desperate it is out there. Meanwhile, you're holed up, other than being heartbroken, living very comfortably.
Mm-hmm.
And the rest of the world, the people who did survive this world event, are literally surviving while we are, for all intents and purposes, thriving down here. Yeah, I could see how there could be some anger. I could see how there could be some tension, and you might want to do some things. I could see that. Now, do you want to get back to the safety of your children? Absolutely. I think he wants to get Presley and James and then see. Now y'all go for it. Go blow all of this shit up. Because he is now also, now he has the truth of Sinatra. Now you know that she is not who you thought she was. You don't know the real shit about Jane yet, but once you are able to reconnect with Robinson, there are more dots that are connected. So you might, in fact, once you know your children are safe, be about that revolution action yourself.
Yeah, because he public enemy number one. You know what I mean? I say, yeah, he public enemy number one anyway.
Exactly.
Like, bro, they think you killed. They think you're responsible for all this shit. So there's no home back there for me, other than my kids. Let's get our kids and let's bounce. Which leads me to a question. I know we talked about Jeremy and his plan and everything, or lack thereof. His big thing is people here deserve to know that there are survivors outside and there's a world out there and they have the right to choose. Absolutely. What do you think you're doing in that situation, Rachel? You spent 3 years down here in paradise. You have your home. I'm looking at Dr. Gab. I'm like, it's just you. You got this nice 2-story crib. Everything kind of set. You have a routine. You have structure. If you find out that the world is actually still there, even though it's not the world you remember, are you standing inside or are you leaving? We saw Sinatra's hand when that sunlight came in. Mm-hmm. She missed that shit.
And that's exactly it. It's easy, quote unquote, to stay down there. Mm-hmm. But, the earth is inhabitable. I can feel, I can watch the real sunrise. I can feel its warmth. I can breathe some fresh air and not some old ass stored up CO2. Mm-hmm. It would be uncomfortable, but I think if there was a community of people who decided to go back to the real world, I would go with that community and establish ourselves in the wild, quote unquote. Because now, other than Dylan the Link, we have an opportunity to change our world and to be our own bosses and govern ourselves accordingly, because it's the wildlings out here. We just out here surviving. There is no government. There is no president. We can make our own rules, and I think I would be down for that versus being under Sinatra and whoever else's thumb in this made-up society.
Understood. I agree with you. I do want to go back to Xavier and Teri. Xavier didn't hesitate when it came to Bean. Yeah. So Teri said, I can't really explain it, but that kid's my family. Mm-hmm. I can't leave here without him. And Xavier, like, man, say less. Like, what we got to do? Where he at? Let's go get him.
I too have a white baby.
Or I too have a white baby under different circumstances. Mm-hmm. However, do you attribute that to Xavier just happy he got his wife back and he'll do whatever? Or is Xavier just that kind-hearted kind of guy? Like, I'm not gonna leave this kid behind with this crazy dude.
All of the above, and he said, "I always wanted more children."
Right. Shout out to Cat Williams. Who little white baby is that? I'm sure that's not how he pictured it, but I do see him taking them in. It actually kind of reminds me of for those of you who watched Cross this season, which just ended. This little random. I love Rachel's facial expressions. The little random kid. Shout out to Toledo. Toledo made a shout out in Cross. But the little kid that they adopted for like 2 episodes, and he was just there. I don't know what they were doing with that storyline. Either way, it's neither here nor there. What do you think about? Let's talk about the whole Gary of it all.
Okay.
I'm with you. I'm with you, Rachel. As I'm watching this scene, so Xavier and Teri make it back to the post office. Mm-hmm. Xavier's on the roof. Pretty much says, "Listen, I'll take this nigga out if it comes down to it." And Teri's like, "Murder? Like, that's new." Once again, we got a lot to catch up on. You
don't know what's been going on out here.
You don't know what's been going on out here. Not to mention, as I said, this dude just tried to set a bomb off on him. Mm-hmm. Like, he got one coming to him. Teri, I want to talk to him. He's not going to do anything to me. I want to talk to him. And we see their interaction. First of all, the actor that played Gary, incredible job, because I really thought you was something wrong with this dude.
Yeah.
He played that to a T.
Mm-hmm.
Teri does eventually talk him down. There's a great moment where Gary says, I was a lifeguard, and one of the first things they tell you is never let a drowning man grab you.
Yeah.
Obviously, there's that desperation. If they do grab you, you're going down with them. Give them the Bowie, give them all types of things. But don't let them get their hands on you. And I was drowning, and it was ironic. The worst time in the human history is going on, but it's the best time of my life because I saw you. I met you. I fell in love with you. And I just knew if you had a chance to leave and get back to your husband, you would. And then that train came, and I just kind of flipped and everything. So we see Gary is not well. We've obviously known that. We see he's obsessed with Teri. However, he's done a lot of bad shit. Mm-hmm. And I wanted Xavier to shoot Gary so bad. I wanted to shoot him so bad. And the only way this show can get away with it is Xavier needed to see that. Xavier needed Teri for that compassion and for that forgiveness and to show that there's always another way versus taking a life rather than getting your lick back, should I say.
I ain't need that.
You ain't need it? I could have been cool because I don't want this dude still out here in this world. Like he can cause chaos. Who's to say the next person that he meets and is obsessed with, he doesn't kidnap and hold them hostage as his wife or as his. So I just feel like people like that, man, you got to play your role and go ahead and just knock it out because it's just too dangerous to be leaving it. I understood why they did it. And I understand Xavier regrets Teri leaving for Atlanta. He talked about her. He told her, like, you got to bear with me being overprotected for the next 10, 20 years. Mm-hmm. I get that. But once again, you're trained. See a threat, eliminate threat.
For sure. I am actually much, much, much more curious to the backstory of Teri saying, you don't do second chances. I need to know what that means because remember, season 1, Xavier has been holding a rightful grudge against Cal up until his death because he did not tell him that Armageddon was now. Mm-hmm. In those words, even though he did vaguely trying to warn him. That is the first time we see Xavier not holding somebody up. And then now here's your wife saying, while the murder might not be new or while the murdering is new, you don't forgive people. You don't give second chances. I need a backstory on that.
I agree with you. There's got to be something there, and I'm sure we're going to get it.
Yeah.
I just don't know what that looks like, so I agree with you there. I want to dig into a little bit more about why Teri. What do you think Teri feels like she owes Gary? Because even down to the
life.
I get that.
What do you
mean? Well, no. All right, let me say this differently. I understand that part of it. I guess this goes back to me wanting to know exactly how Teri found out all this other stuff about Gary. Because if it was enough for you to leave, he's that bad. Why? At what point do you just walk away and say whatever happens to you happens versus I'll make sure Bean knows the good stuff about you. You're the man that saved us. I get that's true, but you're also a terrible human being. Why am I choosing to only acknowledge the good in you?
He didn't start
what am I missing?
That way. He did not start off this horrible person. First off, he's an incel. Start there. Now, I have my first real human interaction, real intimacy, even though it's not sexual. I have my first real set of friends here in the calamity of the end of the world.
Mm-hmm.
Now I have this child with this brilliant, amazing woman whose life I saved. Teri stranded somewhere she's not supposed to be. She's not with family. She's not with anybody. You're in the middle of random ass Atlanta. You take a chance on this baby who trusts you and this random ass white man. And because of that trust, you have survived the end of the world. You have developed other relationships. You have used your skill set in a way that you likely might not have had to use in the bunker. I owe you something for that. I'm appreciative. Now, did you absolutely use your goddamn mind? Yes. However, you going crazy doesn't take away the fact that, in part, I owe my survival and reunification with my husband to you. You gifted me this shit, even though you broke it after the fact. I couldn't have made the call. Xavier would not be here had I not been able to transmit these messages. There's a part of me that's beholden to you. Yeah, you got this kid hostage, but you weren't fucking him. You were feeding him. You weren't doing anything, quote unquote, to Bean. Yes, he saw you kill Ennis. He got to reconcile that. But again, what would Bean's life have been like had he stayed at that house with his drugged out ass parents? Now, I've been able to time stories. I've been able to glean from Teri, this brilliant woman, and have a mother for the first time. You might have tried to kill my husband, but I am grateful to you for those things. And
that's the part. That's the part that I was getting to. The last part you just said. Yes, you tried to kill my husband. If a nigga try to kill your husband, Rachel, you giving him a pass of all that. Now, you just did a great job of explaining why it is the way it is. But you also tried to kill my husband. Like, yeah. It's hard for me to let that go. I need to be a better person.
Also, though, maybe, again, Teri doesn't know what Xavier has experienced. And you don't know that he actually has had to kill somebody out here in these streets. But maybe you don't want that on your husband's conscience because you don't know what all he's had to do. You know what I'm saying? Am I letting it go? I don't know. I can acknowledge that you did all of these things because I do want to be grateful for that. Now, could I put you in the dirt? Bean didn't see that. I can still tell him the good things that you did. I can still be grateful, but I still might have to get that lick back.
Pack Gary up. Pack him up, nigga.
And the reality is he was unsuccessful. So fuck it. You about to be down here alone again. I'm with my man.
Sometimes that's worse than the death.
Yeah.
And we even saw, right? We saw Gary just I'd rather your husband take me out than you leave and I'm by myself again. We saw him break down into tears. So yeah, that is more painful for you than actually killing you.
Mm-hmm.
And like I said at the beginning, Xavier needed to see that compassion and that love in its own unique way that Teri showed to Gary. Because maybe it'll help him with some decisions he needs to make.
For sure.
And it would have been perfect. Or damn, just not thinking about this. Maybe in its own way, it brought up memories of him and Cal. And maybe he wishes he would have been able to handle his final conversations and moments with Cal a little bit differently based off of what Teri, the grace that she showed. So a lot of it has to do with it. X needed that. They get the baby. They headed back to Colorado, all of that kind of good stuff. So we're good to go there. I just want to bring up, well, we can kind of tie this in with Sinatra when it comes to the Cal of it all. Sinatra and her husband, they're in the closet discussing what she should be wearing for the meeting with the outsiders. Her husband brings like this red suit, shows power. She has the gray power suit, all of that. And there's a moment where they talk about, now, when did this stop? When did we stop following each other to the closet? When did we stop following each other anywhere? And he looks at her and says, we both know when that stopped.
Yeah.
Dylan would have been 26 this year.
Which didn't make no sense for me because Dylan didn't look that old when he was on that horse. Because if you would have been 26, you would have been definitely too old to be sitting on this fucking grocery store horse.
First of all, you're 100% right. So this is where I'm kind of fucked up, Rachel. My first thought was what you just said. We saw Dylan in season 1 as a kid.
Yeah.
Dylan didn't look like he could be 26 now.
No.
Which makes me believe Dylan is someone else. Mm-hmm. However, Hadley said, I have a dead brother. Dylan's birthday is 0516.
Uh-huh.
So we just confirmed that Dylan is indeed Dylan.
Yeah.
Which leads us, I didn't necessarily want to get into this early, but we kind of have to for the conversation. There's been theories online about some kind of time travel, time jump.
For sure.
Do you believe that that's what's going on here?
So I am torn because I think that the nose bleeding is reference to a parallel universe. And chance and people's worlds colliding in a universe where they, I want to say shouldn't, but shouldn't. Could it possibly be a coincidence? Maybe. Or again, parallel universe. Have you seen the movie Parallel?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Parallel universe, dark matter. Here we are.
Yeah, Back to the Future, Marvel was like timeline, all of that stuff.
I'm really torn, honestly. Is Dylan Link actually there, Dylan, in another universe? I mean, he looks like Sinatra.
That doesn't explain it doesn't change the fact that they both mentioned he would be 26. Mm-hmm. There's no way that kid would have been 26 unless they are in a different universe than what we saw at the beginning.
For
That's
sure.
the only way to explain that. Do you know the other nosebleed that took place in this season? We saw 2 of them. We saw Sinatra with the nosebleed. We saw Link with the nosebleed. Do you know when there was another nosebleed this season? Because I have it written out. You said what?
Wasn't it Billy?
Yeah, Billy.
Flashback, yeah.
Yeah. It was when, but here's the kicker. So let's tie this all together real quick. Mm-hmm. And we'll have the conversation about Alex, and we still got more Sinatra talk. I think I said this last week, how I was pretty sure that Alex was the scientist, that guy's wife.
Yeah. And
I went back to watch that episode, not the entire one, but just that scene, just to confirm, like, did I make that up or did I hear him say Alex? Mm-hmm. He did. Okay. That woman's name is Alex. Mm-hmm. Okay. here's the chain of events that happened. So we already know Billy's in that room.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, he wrote the address down. Billy's there with the gun out.
Mm-hmm.
Remember, he asked Billy, "Do you think things happen on purpose, or is it all just coincidence?"
Mm-hmm.
This guy knows he's about to die.
Yeah.
He takes some kind of syringe and injects Alex. I forget the Huntington's disease I think she has.
Mm-hmm.
We don't know what that means, but he does whisper, "I'll see you soon, my love," or Alex,
Mm-hmm.
which made me believe that he put her to sleep.
Yeah.
Killed her, put her to sleep, whatever. He knew he was going to die, so maybe he killed her as well and said, "I'll see you soon."
Mm-hmm.
Right before Billy kills him, he asks the question again. "Do you think you're here on purpose, or is it a coincidence?"
Yeah.
Billy says, "Fuck if I know, bro."
Mm-hmm.
He said, "I think you're here for a reason. I'm choosing to look at it as glass half full. And if that's true," he reaches over, he grabs a napkin, hands it to Billy and said, "You're going to need this."
Yeah.
Shortly after, Billy kills him.
Mm-hmm.
And as soon as he kills him, his nose starts bleeding.
Right.
And then that's when he goes out. Link comes in, tells Link not to go in that room, yada, yada, yada.
Mm-hmm.
Is Alex AI? Did with Sinatra being a tech mogul, did she turn Alex into some kind of artificial intelligence with all of this? Because at the end of this episode, I see this bright, like yellow light.
Mm-hmm.
When Sinatra, nobody can find Sinatra. She going out to do her thing, going to this place. She's happy. And she see this light, like, "Hello, Alex," and that's how the episode ends.
Mm-hmm.
What are your theories on? I'm lost, Rachel. I'm fucking confused. I have no idea what this is, and it's been bothering me since Monday. What are your thoughts on this?
Okay, so at first I thought Alex was the girl who had the baby in the bunker, the first baby. That's not true.
Okay, got you.
Thinking back to the flashback and Billy's episode and the death and when we actually first meet Link, we recall that Sinatra has him killed because he will not hand over whatever research. He won't sell it to her. So the only way for me to buy you out is to get you up out of here.
Mm-hmm.
We don't exactly know what that data is in its totality. I believe Alex is also a part of that. So did Sinatra turn the wife into some sort of AI feature? Shout out to the morning show.
Right.
I don't know.
Alex and AI. Shout out to the morning show for real.
I don't know if Sinatra did that, but maybe the good doctor did. Maybe that was part of the research, part of everything for the bunker, part of time travel, universe hopping, this, that, and the third, the patents and whatnot that she couldn't get. The start of the research that made her a billionaire, and you need this other component.
I forgot something important that guy told Billy.
Mm-hmm.
Remember, he said, "It's not high." He said, "I have one request.
Mm-hmm.
Don't hurt the boy." Speaking of Link.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's not hyperbole. This is what he said. It's not hyperbole when I say the fate of the world might depend on it.
Mm-hmm.
What is this research? What is going on? We don't know the answers, obviously.
Yeah.
But as you go back and watch episode 3, or at least that scene, and put this together, you know it's tied in. We just don't know how. So we're going to be in for more twists and turns. How would you feel if this is some kind of parallel universe, time travel type of situation? Is that disappointing to you?
No, because
I feel about
I believe in parallel universe. I believe in parallel universes in general.
Okay, fair.
No.
It wouldn't disappoint me either. I just want it to be done. I think with the Marvel multiverse, when that became a real big thing and the parallel universes within it, we had a few years span of these movies. It was literally called the multiverse saga, like their era. Every movie was dealing with it. I wonder how much of the fatigue will kick in if it's not done in its own unique way. Yeah. That's my only fear with it. Do I think that they're bright enough to know that was going on and not want to copy it? Absolutely. So I don't think it will be something. And I also think we have a big twist. We could be completely wrong, but I think it has something to do with this other universe or parallel, whatever the case may be. I'm not 100% sure. We're in a dystopian world anyway.
Yeah.
And I think people forget that when they watch the show. This isn't the world that we know. So everything's fair game, in my opinion, to be true. I just don't want it to be clunky. I don't want it to be corny in a sense. I don't want it to feel rushed or unfulfilling when we get there. Because I must say, when you watch season 1, you don't really know where it's going.
Right.
You don't know what the whole point of this is, and we still don't. And that's the whole thing. We all granted to our own assumptions about what this show is and what it could be. And I think that's something to keep an eye on. So I don't know. I do want to talk about the Link and Sinatra meetup. So the outsiders come in. I talked about that touch of sun that we see Sinatra just kind of appreciate and wants to participate in it. The intros are made. We get the apple pie. I want to be like Brad Pitt. Brad Pitt's always eating in the movies. Shout out to Ocean's 11. Y'all know how much I love that. Rusty eats in every scene in all 3 of those movies. He sees the Air Force One and he wants to conduct a meeting. I also thought it was funny when he asked, like, is he in here? Talking about Brad Pitt. Like, did y'all, like, because that's something I probably would have asked. Like, what famous people y'all got down here with y'all too? Yeah, y'all got somebody. Like, somebody got to be down here to keep y'all entertained. But he wants to meet on Air Force One. And they meet there. They're on their small talk. It's just Sinatra and Link. And Sinatra asks, like, how old are you?
Yeah.
Which is the first time we've seen this. He said, I'm trying not to get offended when people ask me that I'm 26. Okay. We know y'all talked in the closet earlier about which I would have been 26, but there's nothing to set off any alarms here. He also says he has about 10,000 people spread throughout, ready to kind of go ahead and attack it and make shit shake. But let's get down to the brass tacks of it all. Link wants a nuclear reactor to restart the world. And we know that they have 4 of them or so from the conversation that Cal and Sinatra and the architects had at the beginning of the episode. We know these nuclear reactors are there. Sinatra plays dumb. I love the writing and how observant Link is. We think he asked for the apple pie just because, but I asked for it because I wanted to see what y'all really working with down here. These are fresh apples.
Yeah.
You might not be able to grow cheese or whatever the case is, or that whole process. You don't grow cheese, but the whole process of making cheese. But if you have apples, that means you have a greenhouse. So you means you have a greenhouse, and that means if you have butter or butter alternative, that means you have refrigeration. All these other scientific terms, so where Link is like, yo, y'all got more than what you're saying. I want one of them so we can restart the world. Sinatra reads through that too, like, bro. If you did any type of research to make it all the way here, we just not giving that up. Like, it's just not gonna work like that. So what do you really want? And that's when we get the reveal. I want Alex. We didn't mention this. Dr. Gab brought up Alex directly to Sinatra. Who is Alex? And we saw Sinatra. Don't say that name again.
Yeah.
We're not going down this path. I refuse to talk to you about it. It's over. Alex gets brought up again. She has to act like she doesn't know what she's talking about or what Link is talking about. I think you do. I think you know exactly what I'm talking about. And once Sinatra realizes, oh, that's what you want, y'all might as well just go ahead and head back to where y'all were. Like, this fortress can withstand a nuclear attack. If you try to break in, you're going to cause more harm to you. Like, just go ahead and go about your business. Call it a day. You're not going to destroy what I built. And that's when Link gets upset. You didn't build anything. You manipulated. You lied.
Killed.
You cheated. Killed. All of that. Old boy trying to get his attention. Link. Dylan. And that's when you get the aha moment.
Uh-huh.
And we immediately see Sinatra's eyes like, what?
Yeah.
When's your birthday? And you know right then, because if you go straight from when's your birthday, I would have been, what the fuck you asking me that for?
Yeah.
5/16. Dylan, 5/16. It relays back to what we talked about or what her and her husband talked about at the beginning of the episode. And I know we touched on it briefly, but I just want to ask you again. Is your answer that this is her son in a different universe, a different timeline?
That's what I'm rolling with at this current moment. Okay. I think it's too coincidental that this person with my son's name and date of birth is here before me, looking like me and my husband and Hadley.
Are you surprised she didn't put it together when he first stepped in?
No, because how could she? You didn't know that.
Just from maybe the motherly intuition, like just that familiarity.
No, because she doesn't know him in this universe.
Okay, that's right. If we're going with the sense of this is a different universe, you're right. Okay,
this is a different universe. I had a blonde little boy, and now here is this person with dark hair and light eyes like mine, who is likely brilliant like me. This is interesting. Let me figure this out some more. And again, so when she leaves and she finally goes to her husband to finally get to know him in a better way, after God knows how long, she says, I think it worked. What else could it be? We know the bunker works. So what other research, what other patent could you have been working on? And she doesn't reveal it, be it not other than time travel or universe hopping, destiny swapping, that kind of thing. Because now here is the son that you lost, or then an avatar of the son that you lost, where he could be in whatever other world. And now it's in front of you, and your nose has bled like Link's nose bled upon this interaction.
Yeah. I'm just sitting here thinking about this nosebleed. No, because I'm trying to think of the parallel or the no pun. I'm trying to think of the connection between these nosebleeds. And I'm trying to think of the common thread between them.
Yeah.
And the only thing I can think of is Alex, which means Alex's presence is larger than what we know or expect at the moment in Paradise. We know Alex was in that same room when Billy shot the husband.
Right.
So that makes sense with the nosebleed, and which is probably why he knew it. But why? How did the husband know that Billy's nose was going to bleed?
Because he is the creator behind this shit.
Right. But
I mean, Sinatra needed him and his brain power and his research.
Yeah, but I wonder, I worded that incorrectly. What is the indicator? Like, what's the factor that causes this reaction? I don't know. Is it just Alex's presence, or is there something else? When you do something around her, it doesn't really matter. I'm sure we'll get an answer next week. It just makes me think, like, like, is that, or are we even right? Is that even what's causing these nosebleeds? We don't know. We have more questions than answers.
I don't think it's necessarily the quote unquote Alex of it all. I think it's the
time loop.
Yeah, the crossing of the waves.
Which makes sense. Like, so you're 100% right. We're going towards the, just because of Sinatra's background, tech mogul, billionaire, tech genius, I would say. She had to create something that could mirror these universes, because she keeps saying there's something bigger going on here, and I can't let y'all know, or she told Gab that. She said it in previous episodes. She told Cal, excuse me. This is bigger than the bunker.
Yeah.
This is bigger than this. And is it time travel? It looks like that, but maybe the show wants us to believe it and they hit us with something else.
Right. Watch it be.
I don't know.
I'm gonna be pissed.
I don't know, man. I will say I trust the writing. I also will say I thought it was hilarious when she comes home and she says it works, like you just mentioned, and she starts kissing her husband, getting a little frisky.
Yeah.
This nigga reaction was like, "You okay?" Hey, you ain't got none. You ain't got none of the women when you get some, in a minute when you get some affection. You like everything cool. You want to fuck? Right. You know what I'm saying? I didn't think you like to do that no more.
Right.
Which also shows Sinatra's just a crazy person as well. The things that turns her on. But we end the episode with Sinatra in the wind. Where is she? She's not picking up her phone. We got 10,000 armed people trying to break in. They make a decision on their own.
Yeah.
Same guy that was kind of questioning last week, just to make a decision. We're going on full lockdown. Fuck all this. And they're doing that at the same time as Jeremy and Robinson? Yeah. Jeremy and Robinson and the architect are disabling the oxygen so the doors are open. So you kind of had these two worlds colliding, or these two different events colliding, and they counteract each other. And the doors are everything's kind of stuck. It's halfway open, halfway closed. That's just kind of where we are. And I love when we get, I mentioned the cow thing in the beginning of the episode. He's trying to figure out how all of this works. What happens if all these things happen at the same time? It was foreshadowing, which ended up happening. But also the end. When he's talking to Sinatra, he looks for that clipboard to knock on wood. And she says, our redundancies have redundancies. And he said, you know what? Empires don't fall like at their lowest point. They fall on their high horse. And with all the redundancies. And I thought it was a great parallel, great acting, great storytelling in regards to, unfortunately, feels like reality also, where these empires just, when you feel like they're at the highest, when they have everything going for them, when they have at the top of technology and the top of just civilization, that's when they fall. Yeah, man, that's it. We here, man. We live in this shit. This really is paradise.
The billionaires are building bunkers. Don't get me started on my American empire has fallen soapbox. It's already fallen. It's not falling. It's already fallen.
Yeah, fair. That's a great point. That's a great point. And we're here. Here we are to live it, man. What a time to be alive. All the events have happened to the millennials. Like we already going through it. But empires fall on their high horses, and that's what we're seeing here. And that kind of wraps up the episode.
What a brilliant monologue from James Marsden, aka Cal. It sets us up perfectly to get into the season 2 finale of Paradise. I'm excited. The show is so crazy. I don't think I really even have a prediction. I think because I still just don't know what the fuck is happening.
Yeah, I think that's very intentional. There is no way to make, there's fan theories and all types of stuff out there, but I will say I trust the writing.
Yeah, for sure.
As up and down as it's been a little bit, I trust the writing, and I trust that they aren't going to do something that's so easily predictable.
Yeah.
I'm always weary of saying I figured out the plot on a show like this, because we are hit with twists and turns, and I do believe they have something else for us.
For sure.
While it might be similar, even if we do get it right, there's going to be something that we don't expect, or
for
something
sure.
that's going to make us say, oh, shit, as we end this season. So that's all I got, Rachel. I don't have any predictions either. Let's just sit back and watch. It's funny. I was talking to some people and asked them if they watched Paradise. And the answer I got, and I'm seeing more of this. This has nothing to do with the show per se. Seeing more people saying, I can't watch shows episodically anymore. there are a lot of people who are letting these episodes pile up, and they say as soon as the finale, I'll go ahead and binge the season.
Yeah.
What do you think about that? Is that odd to you?
No, because people have abandoned cable and network TV for the most part. So people binge watch and stream primarily. So
it was odd to me only because we grew up in that era. And I felt like if I was talking to some teenagers, then that would make complete sense to me. But people our age or close to it, have fallen into the trend of it. And we're the opposite kind of. We talk about how there's been shows we wanted to cover here when we got y'all, but they drop them all at once, and it's like, damn, like I appreciate the anticipation. However, what it does do, if this episode isn't as good as we want it to be, it can build the frustration too. Like, I waited a week for this shit. Yeah. You know what I mean? So I see both sides of it. I just thought it was very interesting that more people from our generation are leaning towards, I'd rather just binge it, even though it's available for you to watch right now.
We started with T9.
Fair.
Niggas ain't doing that. You ain't going back for no new Kyocera. I mean, a couple people are getting those flip phones, but
I'm saying people building the bunkers.
Yeah, the times.
Yeah. Well, all right, Rachel.
Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. Continue to like, comment, subscribe, and share till we got y'all pod. If there's a show that you want us to consider down the line, let us know. Tap in. I appreciate you. We love you. Thank you. And make sure you got your bunker crew just in case.
Just in case. We'll see y'all next week for the finale. Peace.